Vandeham Shri Guru Shiyata Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavam Cha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raganatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Paran Sahagana Lalita Shivishakam Vidam Cha Om Ajnana Timarandasya Gyananshana Shalakaya Chakshurun Milidam Yena Tasma Shri Gurave Namah Gaurava Bhistam Supurakam Gurganana Sisha Sambhushitam Chintya Chintya Samasta Veda Nipunam Shri Rupa Patanugam Govinda Abhidam Ujalam Bharatanum Bhaktyan Vidam Sundaram Mande Vishwagurun Shah Divyat Bhagavat Premno Bija Pranam Devam Divyatanum Suchandabananam Balarka Chelanchitam Sandrananda Puram Sadeka Varanam Vairagya Vidyambunim Sri Siddhanta Nidhim Subhakti Lasitam Saraswatanam Baram Vandetam Shubharam Madeka Sharanam Nyashishvara Sridharam Vanchakopatarubhyasya Kripasindu Bhyevacha Patitanam Pavenibhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Namo Mahabaranyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namane Gauratavishe Namah. So we're hearing from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita by Srila Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami, translation and commentary by Srila Prabhupada. This is Adi-lila, chapter 16, the pastimes of the Lord in his childhood and youth, text number 28. 28. Jojnabhati Ratri Prabhu Sishyagan Sange Vasijachin Gangatiri Vidyara Prasange. I'll do the verse before that. Say Amshako Hitare Kore Namaskar Jai Shuni Digbijay Koila Apanadikar Jochnabhati Ratri Prabhu Sishyagan Sange Vasijachin Gangatiri Vidyara Prasange. Offering my obeisances to Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur, I shall try to describe that portion of the Lord's analysis which, when he heard it, made the Digvijay feel himself condemned. Once on a full moon night, the Lord was sitting on the bank of the Ganges with his many disciples and discussing literary topics. Hinakale Digvijay Tahi Aila. Hinakale Digvijay Tahi Aila Gangare Baranakori Prabhure Milila. Coincidentally, Keshav Kashmiri Pandit came there. While offering his prayers to Mother Ganges, he met Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And he's Digvijay Pandit, he's a famous scholar and very proud, and he's conquered everyone all over India. He's in debate, and now he's come to Navadip, which is a center of learning also. He's Kashmiri Pandit, so from Kashmir area. Coincidentally, Keshav Kashmiri Pandit came there. While offering his prayers to Mother Ganges, he met Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Vasailatare Prabhu Adara Korea Digvijay Kohemani Avagya Korea. The Lord received him with adoration. But because Keshav Kashmiri was very proud, he talked to the Lord very inconsiderately. Vyakaran Barahan Nimai Pandita Tomarnam Bhaya Shastre Loke Tomar Kohe Gunagram. I understand that you are a teacher of grammar, he said, and that your name is Nimai Pandit. People speak very highly of your teaching of beginner's grammar. Formerly, Sanskrit schools first taught grammar very thoroughly, and this system continues even now. A student was supposed to study grammar carefully for 12 years in the beginning of his life, because if one is expert in the grammar of the Sanskrit language, all the Shastras are open to him. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was famous for teaching grammar to students, and therefore Keshav Kashmiri first referred to his position as a teacher of grammar. Keshav Kashmiri was very proud of his literary career. He was far above the first lessons of grammar, and so he thought the position of Nimai Pandit not at all comparable to his own. Vyakaran madhye jani padaha kalapa sunilun pangite tomar sishyara samlapa. I understand that you teach Kalyana Vyakaran. I have heard that your students are very expert in the word jugglery of this grammar. There are many schools of grammar in the Sanskrit language, the most famous of which are the systems of Panini and the Kalapa and Kaumudi grammars. There were different branches of grammatical knowledge, and a student of grammar was supposed to study them all in 12 years. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was famous as Nimai Pandit, taught grammar to his students, who became expert in dealing with the word jugglery of complicated grammar. Almost anyone expert in studying grammar interprets the Shastras in many ways by changing the root meanings of their words. A student of grammar can sometimes completely change the meaning of a sentence by juggling grammatical rules. Keshav Kashmiri indirectly taunted Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu by implying that although he was a great teacher of grammar, such grammatical jugglery of root meanings did not require great expertise. This was a challenge to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu because it was prearranged that Keshav Kashmiri would have to discuss the Shastras with Nimai Pandit from the very beginning. He wanted to bluff the Lord. Thus the Lord replied as follows. So, the Digvijay Pandit, Kashmiri Pandit, came there, and it was arranged beforehand that he would debate with Nimai Pandit, because all the other scholars in Navadvip were afraid to debate with him. So they decided, we'll put Nimai Pandit, who's young and not much reputation, and then if he's defeated, there's no big slur on the rest of the population here in Navadvip. So they were thinking like that. Prabhu ko hai vyakaran parahe abhimana kori sishyate na bhujayami bhujayate nari. The Lord said, yes, I am known as a teacher of grammar, but factually I cannot impress my students with grammatical knowledge, nor can they understand me very well. Since Keshav Kashmiri was a little puffed up, the Lord increased his artificial pride by presenting himself as subordinate to him. Thus he flattered him as follows. Kahan tumi sarva shastre kabitve praveen kahanami sabe sishu paduya navina. My dear sir, whereas you are a very learned scholar in all sorts of scriptures and are very much experienced in composing poetry, I am only a boy, a new student, and nothing more. Tomara kabitva kichu shunite hoiman kripa kore kora jadi gangara barnan. Therefore, I desire to hear your skill in composing poetry. We could hear this if you would mercifully describe the glory of Mother Ganges. Shunya Brahman Garbe Barnite Lagila Gati Eke Shata Shlok Gangara Barnila. When the Brahman Keshav Kashmiri heard this, he became still more puffed up, and within 1 hour he composed 100 verses describing Mother Ganges. Shunya Korela Prabhu Bahuta Satkar Thomasama Pratibite Kabinahiyar. The Lord praised him, saying, Sir, there is no greater poet than you in the entire world. Tomar kabitva shloka bhujite kara shakti tumi balo jana arta kimwa Saraswati. Your poetry is so difficult that no one can understand it but you and Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning. Replying to Keshav Kashmiri sarcastically, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu indirectly minimized the value of his poetry by saying, yes, Your compositions are so nice that no one but you and your worshipable mother, the goddess of learning, can understand them. Keshav Kashmiri was a favorite devotee of Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, but Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, as the master of the goddess of learning, has the right to speak sarcastically of her devotees. In other words, although Keshav Kashmiri was proud of being favored by the goddess of learning, he did not know that she is controlled by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself, because he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Ek shloker arta jadi ghora nijamuke shuni sab lok tabe bhaiba borasuke. But if you explain the meaning of one verse, we can all hear it from your own mouth and thus be very happy. Tabe digvijay vyakaran shloka puchila Shata shloker ek shlok prabhuta padila. The Digvijay, Keshav Kashmiri inquired which verse he wanted explained. The Lord then recited one of the 100 verses Keshav Kashmiri had composed. Mahatvam Gangaya Saratamidam Avatini Yad Esha Shri Vishnu's Charana Kamalotpatis Subhaga Dvitiya Shri Lakshmi Eva Suranara Archichanana Bhavani Bharturanya Shirasi Vibhavati Adbhuta Guna. The greatness of Mother Ganges is always brilliant. The greatness of Mother Ganges always brilliantly exists. She is the most fortunate because she emanated from the lotus feet of Sri Vishnu, the Lord himself. She is the second goddess of fortune, and therefore she is always worshipped both by demigods and by humanity. Endowed with all wonderful qualities, she flourishes on the head of Lord Shiva. E shlokararta kori prabhu jadi balo Vishmita Hoya Digvijaye Prabhure Puchila. When Mahaprabhu asked him to explain the meaning of this verse, the champion, very much astonished, inquired from him as follows. Janjavata Praya Amishloka Padila Taramadya Shloka Tumi Kaiche Kande Koila. I recited all the verses like the blowing wind. How could you completely learn by heart even one among those verses? Prabhu kohe devera bhari tumi kapibar aiche devera bhari keho hoy shrutidar. The Lord replied, by the grace of the Lord someone may become a great poet, and similarly by his grace someone else may become a great shrutidar who can memorize anything immediately. In this connection, Shrutidar is a very important word. Shruti means hearing, and Dar means one who can capture. Formerly, before the beginning of Kali Yuga, almost everyone, especially among the intelligent men, the Brahmins, was a Shrutidar. As soon as a student heard any of the Vedic wisdom from his master, he would remember it forever. There was no need to refer to books, and therefore there were no written books in those days. The spiritual master delivered the Vedic hymns and their explanations to the student, who would then remember them forever without consulting books. So, Mahaprabhu says so. Someone may be a qualified poet, and somebody else may be a Shrutidar. A Shrutidar who could, just by hearing something once, can remember it. Because the Pandit was amazed. He said, I recited these verses like the blowing wind so quickly, 100 verses. And how could you memorize one verse? No, like that. This is the quality of Shrutidar. Shlokarar takoila bipra bhaya santosh prabhu kohe kaha shlokar kiba gunadosh. Satisfied by the statement of Mahaprabhu, a Brahmin, Keshav Kashmiri, explained the quoted verse. Then the Lord said, now kindly explain the special qualities and faults in the verse. So Mahaprabhu says, all right, now we can analyze this verse. You tell me what's good about the verse, and then also the faults. Now, obviously, To a poet, this is somewhat demeaning. What do you mean? Explain what are the good things about the poetry I've written and what is the faults in it. Huh. Vipra kohe shloke nahi doshara abas upama lankara guna kichu anuprash. The Brahmin replied, there is not a tinge of fault in that verse. Rather, it has the good qualities of similes and alliteration. Prabhu Kohen Kohe Jadi Na Koraharosh Kahatomar E Shloke Kiba Achedosh. The Lord replied, my dear sir, I may say something to you if you will not become angry. Can you explain the faults in this verse? Pratibara Kabyatomar Devata Santoshe Balomate Vicharile Jani Gunadoshe. There's no doubt that your poetry is full of ingenuity, and certainly it has satisfied the Supreme Lord. Yet if we scrutinizingly consider it, we can find many good qualities and also many faults. Tabi balo kore shlo koraha bichar, kabi kohe je kohile se bedasar. The Lord concluded, now therefore, let us carefully scrutinize this verse. The poet replied, yes, the verse you have recited is perfectly correct. Vyakaraniya tuminahi para alankar tumiki janibe e kabit verasar. You are an ordinary student of grammar. What do you know about literary embellishments? You cannot review this poetry because you do not know anything about it. Keshav Kashmiri first wanted to bluff Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu by saying since he was not an advanced student in literary style, he could not review a verse full of metaphors and literary ornaments. This argument has some basis in fact. Unless one is a medical man, he cannot criticize a medical man. And unless one is a lawyer, he cannot criticize a lawyer. Therefore, Keshav Kashmiri first depreciated the Lord's position because Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was to the champion, a student of grammar. How could he dare criticize a great poet like him? Lord Chaitanya therefore criticized the poet in a different way. He said that although he was certainly not advanced in the literary career, he had heard from others how to criticize such poetry, and as a Shrutidar, possessing a complete memory, could understand the process for such a review. Okay. Prabhu Kohan Ateva Puchiye Tomare Vichariya Gunagdosh Bujaha Amare. Taking a humble position, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, because I am not on your level, I have asked you to teach me by explaining the faults and good qualities in your poetry. Nahi pari alankar korijachi shravan tate shloke deki bahudosh gun. Certainly I have not studied the art of literary embellishments, but I have heard about it from higher circles, and thus I can review this verse and find in it many faults and many good qualities. The statement Korijachi Shravan, I have heard it, is very important in the sense that hearing is more important than directly studying or perceiving. If one is expert in hearing and hears from the right source, his knowledge is immediately perfect. This process is called Shrotapanta, or the acquisition of knowledge by learning from authorities. All Vedic knowledge is based on the principle that one must approach a bona fide spiritual master and hear from him the authoritative statements of the Vedas. It is not necessary for one to be a highly polished literary man to receive knowledge. To receive perfect knowledge from a perfect person, one must be expert in hearing. This is called the descending process of deductive knowledge, or avaroha panta. Kavi kohe kahadeki kon gunadosh, Prabhu kohen kohe shuna na koriyarosh. The poet said, all right, let me hear what good qualities and faults you have found. The Lord replied, let me speak and please hear me without becoming angry. Panchadose shloke panchalankar kramehami koheshuna koraha bichar. My dear sir, in this verse there are 5 faults and 5 literary ornaments. I shall state them one after another. Kindly hear me and then give your judgment. Avimurishta videyamsa duitai china viruramate bangakrama punarata doshatin. In this verse, the fault of Avimrishta Videyamsha occurs twice, and the faults of Viruddhamati, Bhagnakrama, and Punarata occur once each. So there's technical terms for these mistakes in Sanskrit composition. Gangara Mahatva Shloka Mula Videya Idam Shabde Anuvad Pache Avideya. The glorification of the Ganges, Mahatvam Gangaya, is the principal unknown subject matter in this verse, and the known subject matter is indicated by the words idam, which has been placed after the unknown. Videya age kohe pache kohile anuvad, elage shloker arta korijat shibada. Because you have placed the known subject at the end and that which is unknown at the beginning, the composition is faulty and the meaning of the words has become doubtful. So these rules in grammar, similar rules exist in English grammar also. Yeah. In any language practically. You cannot, we say in English, you can't use a pronoun if you don't have a subject really defined. Then it becomes the meaning becomes unknown. Sometimes people do that. They'll have a sentence that has 2 nouns in it, and then they'll have a pronoun. Now, technically, the pronoun should refer to the last noun mentioned. But sometimes people will have that they are thinking they're making it correct by having the pronoun refer to the first noun mentioned, and then it's an incorrect composition. So it's something you can understand something of, if you say, if you use a word like this, idam, like this, and you don't know what it's referring to, then how will the sentence have a proper meaning? No. Because you have placed the known subject at the end and that which is unknown at the beginning, the composition is faulty and the meaning of the words has become doubtful. Anyway, this is Mahaprabhu is referring to simple grammar. This is an obvious simple mistake in composition, but something that's serious, but not as serious as what Mahaprabhu will present later. Okay, because you have placed the known subject at the end and that which is unknown at the beginning, the composition is faulty, and the meaning of the words has become doubtful. Anuvadam anutvaiva na videyam udirayat na I alabda spadam kinchit kutrachit pratitistati. Without first mentioning what is known, one should not introduce the unknown, for that which has no solid basis can never be established anywhere. Dvitiya Sri Lakshmi Ihan Dvitiyatva Videya Samaste Gona Hoila Shabdartha Gela Kaya. In the word Dvitiya Sri Lakshmi, a second all-opulent goddess of fortune, the quality of being a second Lakshmi is the unknown. In making this compound word, the meaning became secondary and the originally intended meaning was lost. Dvitiya Shabda Videya Taha Parila Samase Lakmira Samata Artha Korila Vinashe. Because the word Dvitiya, second, is the unknown. In its combination, in this compound word, the intended meaning of equality with Lakshmi is lost. abhimurishta videyamsa e dosharanam ara ek dosh ache shuna sabadan. Not only is there the fault of imrishta videyamsa, but there's also another fault which I shall point out to you. Kindly hear me with great attention. So Mahaprabhu showed that, in Sanskrit grammar there are grammatical rules and they're very strict. Now I may be a so-called student of beginner's grammar, but I can spot that you have, made mistakes in the utilization of grammar. First he said that. Now he goes on to something more serious. Bhavani Bhartri Shabda Dile Paya Santosh Virudamati Kritname E Mahadosh. Here's another great fault. You have arranged the word Bhavani Bhartri to your great satisfaction, but this betrays the fault of contradiction. Bhavani Shabde Kohe Mahadeva Grihini Tarabarta Kohile Dutiya Bhartajani. The word Bhavani means the wife of Lord Shiva. But when we mention her husband, one might conclude that she has another husband. We all know that Bhavani is the wife of Lord Shiva. And if you say the wife of Lord Shiva's husband, then that is that's not correct. Shiva Patnir Bharta Iha Shunite Viruda Mate Krit Shabda Shastrena Hishuda. It is contradictory to hear that Lord Shiva's wife has another husband. The use of such words in literature creates the fault called Viruda Mati Krit, which is contradiction. You're referring to Lord Shiva's wife's husband. Well, we know that should be Lord Shiva, but when you say it like that, it makes it sound like she has a second husband. Brahmana Patnir Bhartara Hastedehodan Shabda Shunite Hoy Dutiya Bharta Gyan. If someone says, place this charity in the hand of the husband of the wife of the Brahmin, when we hear these contradictory words, we immediately understand that the Brahmin's wife has another husband. So it's again wrong composition, but this is worse because it conveys a contradictory meaning. You want to refer to Bhavani, Lord Shiva's wife's husband, then you have to specify Lord Shiva, but you have made it Lord Shiva's wife's husband. Then it makes it sound like she has two husbands. Otherwise, Vivabati Kriyaya Vakya Sangapuna Visheshana Adbhutagun E Punarata Dushana. The statement by the word Vibhavati flourishes is complete, qualifying it with the adjective Adbhutagun, wonderful qualities, creates the fault of redundancy. Redundancy is it's redundant. It's like saying they did these acts simultaneously and at the same time. It's redundant. Simultaneously means at the same time. The statement by the word vivavati flourishes is complete, qualifying it with the adjective adbhuta gun, wonderful qualities, creates the fault of redundancy. Tina pare anuprasha deke anupam ek pare nahiye dosh bhagna krama. There is extraordinary alliteration in 3 lines of the verse, but in 1 line there is no such alliteration. This is the fault of deviation. Again, this is known as parallel construction. There's 3 lines that have alliteration. The 4th line should also have alliteration. If it doesn't, then this is the fault of deviation. Jajjapi e shloka ache pancha alankar e pancha shloke e pancha doshe shloka koila charakar. Although there are 5 literary ornaments decorating this verse, this entire verse has been spoiled by these 5 most faulty presentations. Dashalankari jadi ek shloka hoy ek doshe saba alankara hoi koi. If there are 10 literary ornaments in a verse, but even one faulty expression, the entire verse is nullified. Sundara sharira jaiche bhushana bhushita ek shveta kushte jaiche koraye bigita. One's beautiful body may be decorated with jewels, but one spot of white leprosy makes the entire body abominable. You know, so the body may be very decorated and have, you know, jewels and nice clothes and everything, but there is some serious thing, like a person's nose is not there or something, you know. White leprosy is different. White leprosy is a pigment discoloration, but Mahaprabhu is saying, maybe your verse may have many beautiful elements in it, but if it's complete grammatically or in a contradictory way, if it's faulty, there's some contradictory meaning implied, what is the good of all the embellishments that you have? One's beautiful body may be decorated with jewels, but one spot of white leprosy makes the entire body abominable. Rasa lankar vat kavyam dosha yuk ched vibhushitam shad vapu sundaramapi sitrenai kena durbagam. As one's body, although well decorated with ornaments, is made unfortunate by even one spot of white leprosy, so an entire poem is made useless by a fault, despite alliteration, similes, and metaphors. Yeah. You can see someone's all very beautifully decorated, but they have some severe skin infection, which is very visible. It will ruin the effect of the beautiful decorations. Panchalankarer ebe shuna bichar dui shabda lankar tina arta alankar. Now hear the description of the 5 literary embellishments. There are 2 ornaments of sound and 3 ornaments of meaning. Shabda lankar tina pare ache anubras Sri Lakshmi shabde punar uktabad abas. There is a sound ornament of alliteration in 3 lines. But Mahaprabhu already said, yes, there's alliteration in 3 lines, but not in the 4th line. There is a sound ornament of alliteration in 3 lines. And in the combination of the words Shri and Lakshmi, there is the ornament of a tinge of redundancy. That he's saying is a literary embellishment, say Shri Lakshmi. Pratama charane panchata karera panti Chaitanya Charitamrita hoy pancha repastiti. In the arrangement of the first line, the letter ta occurs 5 times. In the arrangement of the third line, repeats the letter ra 5 times. Chaturta charane chariba kara prakash ateva shabdalankar anuprash. In the 4th line, the letter ba occurs 4 times. This arrangement of alliteration is a pleasing ornamental use of sounds. But as Mahaprabhu said, why is there no alliteration, repetition of any sound in the 2nd line? Shri Shabde Lakmi Shabde Ek Bastu Ukva Bhunar Ukva Prai Bashe Nahi Bhunar Ukta. Although the words Shri and Lakshmi convey the same meaning and are therefore almost redundant, they are nevertheless not redundant. So Shri by itself could mean Lakshmi, and Shri Lakshmi almost is redundant, but it's not. It's a proper utilization. Shri Jukta Lakshmi Arte Arter Vibed Bhunar Uktavad Avas Shubda Lankar Bed. Describing Lakshmi as possessed of Shri opulence offers a difference in meaning with a tinge of repetition. This is a 2nd ornamental use of words. So Mahaprabhu has said to say Shri Lakshmi, that's a nice touch. But anybody who would speak would say Shri Lakshmi. It's not like a great accomplishment that the poet has said that. Okay. Lakmir Eva Artalankar Upama Prakash Ara Artalankarache nama virodabhas. The use of the word Lakshmi, Eva, like Lakshmi, manifests the ornament of meaning called upama, analogy. There is also the further ornament of meaning called virodabhasha, or a contradictory indication. So these are all ornaments. And but almost anytime you use the word like, he did this like that, like so and so. That's always going to be some analogy there by the word. So Mahaprabhu said, this is very well done. Gangate kamala janme sabara shubhoda kamala gangara janma atyanta viroda. Everyone knows that lotus flowers grow in the water of the Ganges, but to say that the Ganges takes birth from a lotus flower seems extremely contradictory. But this is good. Ihan Vishnu Parapadme Gangara Udpati Viroda Lankariha Mahachamat Kriti. The existence of Mother Ganges begins from the lotus feet of the Lord. Although the statement that water comes from a lotus flower is a contradiction in connection with Lord Vishnu, it is great wonder. So, Ishvara Chintya Shakye Gangara Prakash Ihate Virodanahi Virodabhash. In this birth of the Ganges, by the inconceivable potency of the Lord, there is no contradiction, although it appears contradictory. Normally we'll think of a lotus coming from the water, but in this case the water is coming from the lotus. But because it refers to the lotus as the lotus feet of the Lord, and the Ganges is emanating from those lotus feet, then that is a great wonder. It's very beautiful. Ambujam ambuni jatam kvachidapi nan jatam abujadambu murabidi tad viparidam parambojan mahanadi jatam. Everyone knows that lotus flowers grow in the water, but water never grows from a lotus. All such contradictions, however, are wonderfully possible in Krishna. The great river Ganges has grown from his lotus feet. Has emanated from his lotus feet. Gangara Mahatva Shabdya Saranatahar Vishnu Padopati Anumana Alangar. The real glory of Mother Ganges is that she has grown from the lotus feet of Lord Vishnu. Such a hypothesis is another ornament called Anuman. Hanuman, this hypothesis that the Gangas come from the Lord's lotus feet. Stula e panchados panchalankar shukmak vichariye jadi achaye apar. I have simply discussed the 5 gross faults and 5 literary embellishments of this verse. But if we could consider it in fine detail, we will find unlimited faults. Mahaprabhu said, I've just discussed what's immediately evident as far as faults go. But if we want to really analyze this very meticulously, then we can find more faults. Pratibhaka vidvatomar devata prasade avichara kabye avasya pade doshabare. You have achieved poetic imagination and ingenuity by the grace of your worshipable demigod, Saraswati. But poetry not well reviewed is certainly subject to criticism. Vichari kabdva koile hoy sunirma shalankara hoile arte kore jalama. Poetic skill with due considerations is very pure, and with metaphors and analogies it is dazzling. Now, those who, study, different subjects, especially like literature, generally speaking, in the schools, everyone has to take a beginning course in grammar, and in that beginning course of grammar, their main purpose is just to fill your paper full of red. They just find unlimited, anything you do, anything you say, anything you write, they find unlimited faults. That just happens with almost everybody in that course. And later on in the higher courses, it's not like that. But that beginning course is just like a big deterrent for many people. So here, it's like that. This Digvijay Pandit has composed these verses, and Mahaprabhu says, let's analyze them. And then the Digvijay Pandit says, there's nothing wrong with the verse. And then Mahaprabhu just completely dissects it and finds, he says, I found just these mistakes. But if we want to study it more scrutinizingly, I can find many more mistakes. He says, Vicharika vitva hoile hoy shunirma shalankara hoile arta korijalama. Poetic skill used with due consideration is very pure, and with metaphors and analogies it is dazzling. Shunya prabhur vyakya digvijay vishmita muke na nisharibhakya pratibha stambita. After hearing the explanation of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the champion poet was struck with wonder. His cleverness stunned, he could not say anything. Kahite chahaye kechuna aishe utar tavi vichare mane hoya fanvar. He wanted to say something, but no reply would come from his mouth. He then began to consider this puzzle within his mind. We also saw that sometimes with Govinda Maharaj. Govinda Maharaj would, generally he was very reserved in his criticism. And when you did something wrong, he didn't usually immediately point it out to you. But at a later time, he may point it out to you, and in a very kind of like, so you knew what he was saying. And then afterwards he would sometimes say, so do you have anything to say? And you would say, of course you didn't have anything to say. No. After hearing the explanation of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the champion poet was struck with wonder. His cleverness stunned, he could not say anything. Kahite chahaye kechuna aishe utar tavi vicharaye mone hoya fanfar. He wanted to say something, but no reply would come from his mouth. He then began to consider this puzzle within his mind. Paduya bala koila mora budi lop jani Saraswati more korijachin gob. This mere boy has blocked my intelligence. I can therefore understand that Mother Saraswati has become angry with me. Je vyakya korilai manushera nahi shakti nimai muke rohe bole apane Saraswati. The wonderful explanation the boy has given could not have been possible for a human being. Therefore, Mother Saraswati must have spoken personally through his mouth. Etababi koheshuna nimai pandit ka tababhyakya shunyami hoilon bishmita. Thinking thus, the Pandit said, My dear Nimai Pandit, please hear me. Hearing your explanation, I am simply struck with wonder. Alankara nahi pad nahe shatrabhyas kemone e sab arta korile prakash. I am surprised. You are not a literary student and do not have long experience in studying the Shastras. How have you been able to explain all these critical points? Iha shuni Mahaprabhu ati bora rangi tahara ridaya jani kohe koribangi. Hearing this and understanding the Pandit's heart, Mahaprabhu replied in a humorous way. Shastrara vichar balo mandana hijani Saraswati je bawalai se bolibani. My dear sir, I do not know what is good composition and what is bad, but whatever I have spoken must be understood have been spoken by Mother Saraswati. So the Pandit's already thinking, why is my goddess, we refer to the Ishta Devata, my worshipable Lord, in this case Mother Saraswati. Why has she abandoned me? And then he says to Nimai Pandit, you're not expert. How can you speak these things? And Mahaprabhu says, well, I don't know what's good or bad. Whatever I said must have been put in my mouth, or I was able to speak it because of the grace of Mother Saraswati. And then the Digvijay Pandit is like, oh, I knew it. Iya shuni Digvijay korila nishjoy, sishu dware devi more koila parajay. When he heard this statement from Mahaprabhu, the Pandit sorrowfully wondered why Mother Saraswati wanted to defeat him through a small boy. Ajitare nibe diba kore japa jnana sishu dware koila more eta apamana. I shall offer prayers and meditation to the goddess of learning, the champion concluded, and ask her why she has insulted me so greatly through this boy. Vastuta Saraswati Ashuddha Shloka Korala Vichara Samayatara Buddhi Achadila. Saraswati had in fact induced the champion to compose his verse in an impure way or an incorrect way. Furthermore, when it was discussed, she covered his intelligence, and thus the Lord's intelligence was triumphant. Tabisa Shugan Sab Hasite Lagila Tarshaba Nishedi Prabhu Kabire Kohila. When the poetic champion was thus defeated, all the Lord's disciples sitting there began to laugh loudly. But Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked them not to do so, and he addressed the poet as follows. Tumi Vara Pandit Mahakabi Shiromani Charamuke Bahirai Aiche Kabjabani. You are the most learned scholar and topmost of all great poets, for otherwise how could such fine poetry come from your mouth? Tomara Kavitva Jena Ganga Jaldar Tomasam Kavit Kata Nahidekiar. Your poetic skill is like the constant flow of the waters of the Ganges. I find no one in the world who can compete with you. Bhava Bhuti Jayadev Arakalidas Tasabar Kavitve Ache Toshara Prakash. Even in the poetic compositions of such great poets as Bhava Bhuti, Jayadev, and Kalidas, there are many examples of faults. So these may be very famous and very wonderful poets, but still, in their poetry, you can always find something of fault in some of the verses. Dosha guna vichar e alpa korimani kavitva karane shakti taha se bakani. Such mistakes should be considered negligible. One should see only how such poets have displayed their poetic power. Shaishava Chaupaya Kichuna Labe Amar Sishyara Samanam Mui Naha Tomar. I am not even fit to be your disciple, therefore kindly do not take seriously whatever childish impudence I have shown. Ajivasa Jaha Kali Miliba Abar Shuniva Tomar Muke Shastrara Vichar. Please go home, and tomorrow we meet again, so that I may hear discourses on the Shastras from your mouth. Emate. So Mahaprabhu was very courteous, very nice to the Pandit. He defeated him, but he didn't allow his students to laugh at the Pandit who was defeated. And then Mahaprabhu says, I'm not even fit to be your disciple, but tomorrow we'll meet and I'll hear from you. Emate Nijagare Gela Duijan Kaviratre Koila Saraswati Aradan. In this way, both the poet and Mahaprabhu went back to their homes, and at night the poet worshipped Mother Saraswati. Saraswati Shwapne Tare Upadesha Koila Sakat Ishwara Kore Prabhuke Janila. In a dream, the goddess informed him of the Lord's position, and the poetic champion could understand that Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the Supreme Lord himself. Pirate Ashi Prabhu Pari Loila Sharan Prabhu Kripa Koila Tara Kandila Bandhan. The next morning the poet came to Mahaprabhu and surrendered unto his lotus feet. The Lord bestowed his mercy upon him and cut off all his bondage to material attachment. Bhagyavanta Digvijay Safala Jivan Vidya Baule Paila Mahaprabhu Charan. The poetic champion was certainly most fortunate, His life was successful by dint of his vast learning and erudite scholarship, and thus he attained the shelter of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Adi-lila Varnijachin Vrindavanadas Jai Kichu Visesha Ihan Korila Prakash. Srila Vrindavandas Thakur has described all these incidents elaborately. I have only presented the specific incidents he has not described. Chaitanya Gosara Lila Amritaradar Sarvendriya Tripta Hoy Shravane Jahar. The nectarian drops of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastimes can satisfy the senses of everyone who hears him. Shri Rupa Raghunath Parijaras Chaitanya Charitamrita Kohe Krishnadas. Praying at the lotus feet of Shri Rupa and Shri Raghunath, always desiring their mercy, like Krishnadas narrate Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, following in their footsteps. Thus end the Bhakti Vedanta purports to Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi-lila, 16 chapters describing the pastimes of the Lord in his childhood and youth. So, the Adi-lila, compared to, Vrindavandas Thakur has written the Mahaprabhu's Navadip pastimes in great detail, especially with Nityananda Prabhu present. But here in the Adi-lila, the 13th chapter describes Mahaprabhu's appearance, his birth. Then you have 14, 15, 3 chapters after that. The Lord is at the point where he has defeated a famous Pandit from Kashmir who came to Navadip. So you can see pastimes of the Lord in his childhood and youth. They're being very, very summarized, very, So then we'll see that soon. This is chapter. What is it? This is chapter 16, and I believe 17 and 17 is the next chapter. Is the end of the Adi-lila. One more chapter, and then we go into Madhya-lila. That's where Krishnadas Kaviraj has presented more detail in the later pastimes, and that's what everyone wanted to hear. They said, we've heard Vrindavan Das, we've heard given what Murari Gupta have spoken about the Lord's pastimes, but now we want to hear about Mahaprabhu's travels and when he comes to Jagannath Puri. That we've not heard. So that's where the focus will come. Okay. Hari Haraya Nama Krishna Jaravaya Nama Hari Haraya Nama Krishna Jaravaya Jaravaya Maravaya Keshavaya Nama Jaravaya Maravaya Keshavaya Nama Gopal Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudan Gopal Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudan Giridhari Gopinath Mananama Giridhari Gopinath Mananama Shri Chaitanya Nityananda Shri Advaita Chandra Shri Chaitanya Nityananda Shri Advaita Chandra Gadadhara Shiva Sari Gaura Bhaktavrinda Gopala Jai Saparikara Shishi Guru Guranga Gandharvika Giridhari Joki Jai Jayam Vishnupad Paramansa Parabhajaka Chari Ashta Tara Satashi Shimad Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai Jayam Vishnupad Paramansa Parabhajaka Charya Ashta Tara Satashi Shimad Srila Bhakti Rakak Srila Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai Jai Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Sananta Saraswati Goswami Thakur Ki Jai Jayam Vishnupad Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai Jayam Vishnupad Srila Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur Ki Jai Jayam Vishnupad Vaishnava Sarvabhauma Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai Rupanuga Guru Varga Ki Jai Namachar Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Shri Rupa Sanatana Bhatta Raghunashi Jiva Gopal Bhatta Das Ragana Shad Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai Premsiko Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasudeva Shri Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Srila Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami Prabhu ki jai, Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki jai, Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur ki jai, Sri Chaitanya Bhagwat ki jai, Narottam Srinivas Shyamananda Prabhu ki jai. Jayam Vishnupad Vishvavaranya Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada ki jai. Jayam Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Nirmal Acharya Maharaj ki jai. Anandakoti Vaishnava Vrindi ki jai. Shri Navadip Dham ki jai. Shri Mayapur ki jai. Saparshada Shri Nityananda Prabhu ki jai. Saparshada Shri Mahaprabhu ki jai. Shri Kuladvip ki jai. Shri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat ki jai. Soquel Shri Chaitanya Saraswat Seva Ashram ki jai. Ganga Devi ki jai. Tulasi Maharani ki jai, Bhakti Devi ki jai, Shri Vrindavan ki jai, Shri Radha Krishna Gopi Govardhan, Sham Kuna Radha Kunda, Kalindi Yamuna Jo ki jai, Samaveda Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki jai, Sripad Bhakti Chandan Parvat Maharaj ki jai, all the assembled devotees ki jai, Gaur Premananda Bhakti Maharaj ki jai.